Hello and welcome. Um, Welcome to our Tappilini class. I'm waiting for More Yoga Wellness to TV, More Yoga Wellness TV, who is sponsoring this transmission, this broadcast, to give me the go ahead that we are live on their website. So, and let's go live. Yes. So, I think we are very, very close to have the green light to start our program today, which I hope from the bottom of my heart that it will be of benefit to you and it will help you in your process of self-healing and finding your own answers to create the life that you want. I think we must be live. Are we live? We are live. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Ludwika, who is in the control panels today. And today we're going to discuss, we're going to present about loving your pain and finally healing yourself. And this, although may sound quite easy, if you are someone who suffers from chronic pain, a chronic disease, mental health, and you struggle with it, I mean, it's something that really pulls you down. Changing the concept or accepting the concept of loving your pain can be a little bit difficult, since sometimes it's just that pain that makes life so unbearable. So, how can we love something that is so difficult to live with? And this could be any kind of pain. We can talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, bipolar. We can talk about physical pain, like I don't know, physical pain like lower back pain or fibromyalgia, or constant diarrhea, or problems with the lungs, or IBS, or Crohn's disease, or it could also be emotional. It could be that our emotions run free and wild, and we find difficult to be in peace and in balance. We are very angry, we are very sad, we are out of control of our own system, of our own self, and that can be very difficult to cope with. So, how can we begin the process of loving ourselves? I think before beginning the process of loving ourselves, we have to come and embrace the concept that loving the pain can actually change anything. And what does it mean to love your pain? What does it mean to actually embrace your chronic pain, whatever this is, and begin to create a difference? From my experience, and this is something that I want to share, I am not a doctor or a therapist. I am simply a survivor who has learned throughout his own process, how to change the reality that I live in. And here I would like to present something about what for me means to be healthy. And at some point in my life, I believed that being healthy meant to not have the diagnosis, to not have the illness, not have the pain. And the constant fighting with myself, the constant trying to fix myself, the constant trying to heal myself, created a lot of inner conflict that, instead of helping me, was creating more that I wanted to get rid of. So when I realized that by pushing or rejecting my pain, or constantly trying to heal it or kill it, better said, because when you have a chronic diagnosis, and you suffer from chronic pain, the only thing you want when you are going through the pain is get rid of it right now in whichever way you can, especially if it's a very, very intense pain. And when we are in that process, it's difficult to find the courage to say, I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to sit with it, and I'm going to actually try to find different angles to it. I'm going to try to learn from it. I know it's very difficult, but at least from my experience, it has been possible. It has been the life changing secret that has allowed me to be here in front of you today. And that's why I dare to talk about healing or transcending or embracing chronic pain and be able to find peace and balance and clarity and finally the harmony, the alignment that we so much want and need in our lives. So, if you have any chronic pain of any kind, psychological, physical, or emotional, or spiritual, share it with me. Share it in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what your approach to pain is. How do you manage this pain? What have you done to learn from it? And what progress have you achieved over the time that you have this guest in your life talking about chronic pain? And let's create a conversation. In the meantime, I would like to share with you how I found that loving my pain became the secret, became the magic formula to actually stop suffering and begin to find the answers or the peace or the harmony, to stop worrying, stop trying to fix myself, and begin to enjoy being me. And I could say that that was a very easy process, but it wasn't. It was a result, the result of many, many years of trial and error, of trying different techniques, of trying every kind of diet, of trying absolutely everything that came my way, absolutely everything, to observe what was actually helping me and what was only creating more inner conflict. And with all this new technology that we have at our disposal, now that we have the internet and we have all this communication available and information available to us, it's very easy to begin to collect uh, practices that you think might help, because you go out there and everyone is trying to sell you something. Everyone is trying to sell you the key meditation, the key process, the key certification, the maximum effort. I mean, you go and try it and you can spend all your money in trying to fix yourself, and at the end, many times, at least that's what happened to me, my chronic pain, my chronic illness was still there and I was still struggling. And it came to a point when I realized that, excuse me, all that information, what helped me was to realize that I didn't need it. And if you are in the process of believing that the solution to everything it's out there and you have to go and search for it and find it, well, I totally respect your beliefs. and your approach. And I think, well, everybody gets to the same point at some point in their lives. But in my journey, after trying everything, I'm still having the same recurrences, going back to the same place of pain, of confusion, of anxiety, of inner conflict, of weakness, of confusion and darkness in mind and spirit. I realized that the answer to all my questions was not outside, but inside. So, what does that mean? I mean, if I want to look inside, how do I go inside? And this is probably the most difficult challenge that we all have, which means that we have to sit with our pain, we have to sit with ourselves, because being us, especially if you have childhood trauma, if you have a chronic disease, or if you have a chronic pain, and you've been carrying this pain for a very long time, sitting with yourself, it's something that you just don't want to do unless you have a huge amount of medication on you and you are kind of passing out. And in the passing out, it's okay because it's like falling asleep, and you know that you will have a break of being you, and it will give you a time to breathe. Most of this time to breathe happens when you are asleep, and so you don't realize about anything because your mind is blocked, or simply shut down, and you don't have the opportunity to experience anything. So having the courage, having the patience, having the determination to sit with yourself when you are having the pain, and this can be very difficult if you are not a positive minded individual. If you normally tend to think about the worst, and you tend to spiral down, this can be even dangerous. And if you are those kind of individuals, I ask you to please always have your um, support mechanism, your support team around you, and know that you are not alone. It's a lot easier for people who can see always the light at the end of the tunnel, however dark the tunnel might be. But not everyone is the same. And today I would like to share with you a practice called Tappilini that has allowed me to, even in the darkest of times, find peace of mind, and more than that, faith. Faith that this too shall pass. You probably have heard that sentence many times. This too shall pass. But when you are in the middle of the pain, realizing or cognizing the possibility that this too shall pass is something that it's or feels sometimes way too out of reach. I don't know if it happens to you. It definitely happens and had happened to me. So how could I, in those moments of total blindness, when you are in pain, when you don't know what to do, when you just feel like the only thing you want to escape, it's your reality. How can you find the peace of mind, not the confidence, the trust, the the ability to have faith in yourself and in the process of life? The way I have find that peace, the way I have found that faith, has been through an ability to detach from the pain. Now, that ability to detach from the pain, I found it in the practice of EFT, or emotional freedom technique, which is the tapping technique. I don't know if you have seen this technique, But it's a very simple, because it's just a matter of tapping the different points in your hands, in your head, in your face, in your body. And what this simple practice of tapping does, it works directly with the fight, flight, and freeze response of the nervous system. That is the response that the nervous system gets into when we are in high levels of stress, when you are at very high levels of pain, when you are experiencing the worst of your situations, or the worst of the pain, when you are feeling very depressed, when you're feeling the pain, when your head is about to explode, when your stomach is also exploding, when you cannot breathe, when you are sweating and you feel like you are about to die. And that fear of dying is simply a response of the nervous system. You want to escape it, you want to fight it, or you feel yourself totally frozen in the moment because you don't know what to do. And by using this technique, especially if it's chronic pain and it's something that you know how far it can go, when you already know that you are in reality, you are not in danger. You are not in danger of dying. In reality, you are not, your life is not at risk, but you are going through a very, very difficult time. At that point, using this technique can allow you to not want to run away from the pain, instead giving you the opportunity, the courage, the stamina, to present yourself and say, you know something, instead of taking the painkillers, or instead of taking X amount of medication that is going to knock me down, this time I'm going to give myself 30 minutes, 30 minutes of sitting with my pain, 30 minutes of trying to detach from the beliefs and the story and the drama that I create within myself about everything that has happened to me. And I will just observe myself. I'm going to observe my breathing, and I'm going to observe the pain. It's like suddenly, instead of having this entity inside of you that comes out in the worst of circumstances or in the worst of moments and wants to fight you, and instead of you saying, well, you know something, I have a bigger gun because I have my pills and I have my painkillers, and I can kill you anytime, you say, you know something, this time, at least throughout this period of time, I'm going to sit down with you, or I'm going to stand in front of you. I'm going to look at you straight into your eyes, and I'm going to simply observe what is going to be your reaction. Because now I am not afraid of you. I don't want to escape. I don't want to fight you. And I'm not frozen in fear, not knowing what to do. Instead, I am right now prepared to learn about this circumstance, this situation that belongs to me, that is my destiny because it's part of my life right now. And I'm going to start observing, looking straight into your eye, and see how you react, not me. Because me, right now, I'm in control. That is the point when everything changes. When you say, I'm in control of myself, I'm in control of my emotions. I may not be in control of your pain, of you, because pain, you have your own kind of identity and you have your own individual self. And the more I have tried to kill you and get rid of you, well, pretty much the more you kind of get trapped inside myself. And this conflict, I'm not, or this game, I'm not going to longer play it. So thanks to this technique, the tapping technique, I can allow myself to at least give me 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, or I'm going to sit for as long as I can, observing myself, observing my pain, observing the thought process, the drama that happens in my mind. How do I react? Where the pain is exactly? What is the pain shape? Because if you close your eyes and you think about your pain, you can visualize many aspects of it. You can subtract, you can obtain a lot of information from it if you sit on it, if you sit with your pain, if you allow yourself to not be frightened by it, or not be poked by it, like not get you out of yourself or out of control, but being in control of yourself. And this can happen just by tapping. Believing in yourself, believing that this simple action can stop the fight, flight, and freeze response of the nervous system that keeps you trapped in the vicious cycle of fighting and escaping and freezing. And be able to sit with yourself. If you are right now experiencing something like this, please give it a try. Give it a try. Now, if you say, well, why should I believe you? I mean, you are just some nobody who suddenly appeared in this video. I've never seen you before in my life. And then you're saying that by tapping these points in my hand, I can begin to shift the emotional attachment or the emotional feeling of my pain. So why do I say this to you? And in this very short story, I would like to share with you a little bit of who I am and what have I done in my life to be here. I come from a very traumatic childhood, hugely traumatic, including child sexual abuse and physical abuse. For 9 years, I believed that I had been kidnapped by some strangers. That the only thing that they wanted was to hurt me, and obviously that created huge amount of trauma, huge amount of confusion. I didn't believe in myself. The only thing I wanted was to die. Dying, even as a child, was the light at the end of the tunnel. There wasn't happiness. I didn't want to be happy. I didn't want to be loved. I didn't want anything because I didn't know anything like that. I didn't know anything of love. I didn't know anything of peace or joy in the family or anything that would resemble any kind of normal life. I knew that the normal life escaped me. I had a huge, deep sorrow and sadness in my heart every time that I thought about having a family that loved me or understood me. And that hole just kept growing and growing. So I grew up hugely addicted to everything. At the beginning was food, alcohol, people, and then later in life became illegal drugs and recreational drugs and all kinds of drugs. And I end up having my wish in a near-death experience, in a suicide attempt to kill myself. This I share with you to not to dramatize my life or to say, well, my pain has been huge, because everybody's pain is huge for them. And I'm not trying here to compete with your pain. but I want to give you a little bit of perspective of what this practice that I'm sharing with you today has done in my life, and how did I have managed alone. And this is my greatest pride. I've done it alone. I've went and tried many practices, but many times I left the practice one or two steps into it because something didn't ring the bell. Because I knew that the solution, somehow I knew, because I didn't know it, but somehow I knew that the solution at least wasn't out there. I kept trying to change the the configuration of my own information within myself to achieve what I wanted. And that is what I'm coming to say to you through this practice of going in and not out, going in and sitting with your pain. And once you have your pain and you have the ability to stay with it, clear of any drugs or painkillers or anything that externally will make you feel better, when you have the courage and the strength to say, I'm shaking, I'm sweating, because the pain is so intense that I feel I'm about to faint or die. And even in those moments when everything points at total destruction, you're standing strong, you're breathing deep, and you are in control of yourself. At least for me, that was the secret of immortality. Because thanks to the ability to say, okay, you want to kill me, you fucker. Kill me, and kill me with your biggest, strongest blow. But I'm not going to move from here. And I stood there and I sat there and I looked straight into their eyes and I say, what? What? Are you going to kill me? Kill me now. But it's going to be on my terms. I'm not going to be running away, or I'm not going to be fighting constantly, or I'm not going to be just totally out of my mind trying to avoid the situation. No. Now I sit in front of you and I confront you. And I say, come on, you're going to hit me hard, because then it's my turn. And my turn will be going back into it, sitting with myself, sitting with the pain, and saying, okay, so what is this all about? What is this all about? Oh, well, it comes from the trauma of your childhood. Okay, how can I change my perspective of the trauma of my childhood? How can I change the pain? And I tried many things. I tried recreating a total fantasy panorama. Oh, I was very happy. I had the perfect family circle. I was loved and understood and encouraged. That didn't work. So it was like, okay, so where is it? How can I change my past? How can I change my past? Because that is going to be the only way that I will manage to transform how I feel about it and the trauma. And what I did, or what happened to me, that it didn't came from me, it came through a meditation when I was in total kind of balance and harmony. A message come to me and said, find the blessing. You have to find the piece of information that can make you feel grateful for the trauma in your past. And I was like, how could I be grateful for being abused? How could I feel grateful for being beaten senselessly for so many years? How could I feel grateful for not being loved? How could I feel grateful for all that? And suddenly it was like, well, through that, right now, I am able to shift my own thinking and choose who I am. And I was like, right now I'm having goosebumps. I was like, oh, fuck. And for that, I'm very grateful. And, and for that, I was so fucking grateful. Because for the first time in my life, I could see change. I could see healing. I could see light. I could see balance. And I was like, I can do this. I can definitely do this. I can see myself shifting everything that I thought was pulling me down and killing me, and become stronger by it. Just by right now, in this moment, here and now, change my perspective of my past and shift the feeling of victim into victorious. That made the whole thing begin to change. In that moment, the pain, the chronic pain, the chronic disease, the 4 years of constant diarrhea, the pneumonia, the skin problems, all this array of different diseases began to disappear. And more importantly than the physical manifestations of my disease was the mind. The mind began to stop constantly worrying and thinking that the worst of situations and the worst of end was going to happen, and began to have a more humble, patient, and open way of thinking. And if you are a sufferer of chronic disease or chronic pain, and you have also a situation with mental health, you know that the most difficult task, the most difficult challenge is quieting your mind. Get to a point when you are silent, when you are without thought, and you know that you are connected, to a higher, clearer, loving energy, that the only thing that wants for you is for you to be yourself in your highest potential. And that the pain that you are experiencing right now, it's only the product of your own determination to know more about who you are. And we have only one lifetime right now, and it's the one that in this lifetime we have to go from 0 to 100. From 0 to 100. In the process, you realize that you have a lot of information that you can count with from previous life and from different dimensions and all that stuff. But when we go from pain to no pain, that linear trajectory, that linear journey becomes the only thing that matters. So, what is this practice that I'm sharing with you? It's called Tappilini. Tappilini, as the name suggests, it's a mixture or a combination of different practices. Tappilini, the first part is tapping, as I already mentioned. That connects with the breathing technique. Very deep breathing, connecting with your pain, connecting with yourself. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay not to be equal or the same to everybody else. It's okay to have lost everything that you loved. It's okay to never had it. never had that you wanted. It's okay that you don't know where you're going, but also you know where you're coming from. So the other part of Tappilini is the ini part. And the ini comes from Kundalini. And Kundalini, in this case, talks about a mantra. In Tappilini, I use a mantra called the Miracle Mantra of Guru Ramdas. And although the name provokes or invites to think about miracles and things that are out of our control and depends on the majestic power of the universe, in reality, this mantra, at least, it's about you creating, becoming your own miracle. How do we become our own miracle, or our own salvation, our own guru, our own master and teacher? The way we do it is by having the ability to step out of your limiting beliefs and mind. If you are thinking, well, I have fibromyalgia, I'm in constant pain, my body has turned into stone, I can hardly move, and everything about me, it's painful. And that, what I just said, everything about me, it's painful. That construction, that belief, is that a belief. So what would happen? What would happen if you had the ability to step out of me? What would happen if you can see yourself outside yourself and realize what it is that is actually happening to you, since you are not longer drowning within your own pain? How much more information about yourself do you think you can obtain? How much more about you think is there for you to grasp, to make this experience something more powerful than you have ever imagined? Because if you thought that you were brought to this world to be miserable, to be weak, to be limited, I am here to tell you that you are very, very wrong. That was not the intention of this journey and any journey. If you are experiencing that right now, it's simply a step to powerful, a step to unlimited, a step to fully healthy and in harmony. But you have to be able to transcend that pain within yourself. And what I found, the secret, and I'm going to share with you the secret of this situation, it's about loving your pain. So I was talking about the miracle mantra of Guru Ramdas, which is Guru Guru VAJE Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. This mantra, all the sounds, Guru Guru VAJE Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. So it's 14 syllables. Each syllable, each sound represents a tone, represents a note, like a magic note of consciousness, not of music, but imagine that if you can think of music and the pentagram with the different notes creating a melody which creates a certain emotion. Yes? Yes? When we have music, depending on where those notes are located and the tempo of those notes, how they are played, they create an emotion. They create a sense of a feeling. In the same way, this song, this consciousness song, Guru Guru VAJE Guru Guru Ramdas Guru, although you logically or your mind might not know what it's happening or what it's feeling, and cannot understand the depth of this mantra, there is a part of you that does. There is a part of you, your higher consciousness, your super consciousness, that part of you knows that you are talking to it directly because you're using its language. So when you begin to talk in the language of your higher consciousness, what happens? Communications opens and you start receiving information. As you are sending information about yourself, you start receiving information about yourself. And in that moment, you start getting aha moments. You get the enlightenment part of this process, and you start having very cool and clear and direct and practical insights. You know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And if you do it, you notice transition immediately. You notice change immediately. Many times we have to train by repetition our mind. We have to let the mind know that we mean what we say and we say what we mean. And we need to stop lying to ourselves so we can actually believe our own words. So we're gonna try a little bit of this mantra. Guru Guru, Vahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. I invite you to say it with me. Take a deep breath in. Guru Guru, Vahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Remember, this is not a pill. I am not giving you a paracetamol and your pain is going to go away. Right now, I'm teaching you how you need to focus your mind and begin to feel the vibration in your throat, feel the vibration in your chest, feel the vibration in your face, and begin to switch off from all the lower thinking. So one more time, deep breath in. Guru Guru, Vahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Actually, let me change this because it's in Spanish. Let me put it in English. Vahe. Okay. Okay, one more time. Guru Guru, Vahe Guru, Guru Ramdas Guru. Okay. Now I'm gonna challenge you, and we're gonna say this mantra 5 times in one breath. We have to do it a little bit faster so we don't run out of breath. But if you run out of breath, it's okay. Just for the next time, try to budget your air a little bit better so you don't run out of air. And after 3, 4, 5 times, your subconscious gets it and you know how to do it, and it happens very naturally. But at the beginning can be a little bit challenging. So be patient with yourself, and let's do it one more time. Inhale deep. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. 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 Let's try it tapping. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. 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 Now I'm going to use a little melody to help me not think about the repetitions. I'm not thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but just thinking about tones. So I'm going to go with a mantra. I'm going to go high. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas. Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas. Guru. 5 tones, 5 repetitions. So I'm going to invite you to do with me 11 minutes, 11 seconds of this beautiful mantra If you have any problems with the mantra, take it easy. Be kind with yourself. Focus on the tapping. Focus on the breathing. Try to breathe at the same rhythm that I am breathing. So take your breath in when I breathe in, and slowly, as I'm repeating 5 times the mantra, you slowly exhale. And if you're invited by your own intuition to begin to repeat the mantra, begin as much as you can. If you do 3 or 4 repetitions and you want to stop and and do it in silence, follow your own rhythm. Remember, especially if this is the first time that you're doing it. If this is the 25 million times that you've done it, you've done it. You do it with all your heart and intention. And I'm going to put one more step. I'm going to ask you right now, you that you are watching, in the scale of 1 to 10, in the scale of 1 to 10, where is your level of anxiety or inner conflict? And allow your mind to come up with a number. Just right now, my number, again as yesterday, it's number 8, and actually number 8, number 9, and it might sound funny. How could I be in such high levels of anxiety when probably I might seem to you very in control of myself? That's okay. Something that I experience, it's something called high functioning anxiety. That means that in the stage outside of me, everything is perfect and the show must go on and everything is cool. But on the backstage, everyone is running, everyone's stressed, and there is a little bit of chaos there. I know that that's how I function. My strength comes by the ability to bring the front and the backstage to harmony and peace. So for that, I'm going to invite you to do with me 11 minutes, 11 seconds of Tappilini. And we're going to start by tapping on the palm, on the side of the palm. And then I'm going to go through the different points in the head and the face and the body. You can follow with me, or you can stay parked in one place, in one point, and just breathe. It's up to you. Another thing that I want to share with you is bring the number down. If you are in number 10 of the anxiety levels or the conflict, the inner conflict levels, little by little, imagine 9, 8, and then follow by 7, 3. Then your mind is gonna fly to somewhere else. You're gonna forget about the counting down, and then you're gonna remember again. 6, 5, and then you're gonna forget, and you're gonna think about, this is too hard. I don't know what I'm doing, and then you're gonna remember again, and you 4, 3, and let's see what number you can bring that anxiety level down. Okay, with not much more ado, let's begin. Take a deep breath in. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Forehead. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 side of the eye. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Under your eye. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Under your nose. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Chin. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Collarbone. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Heart or chest. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Under your arm. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Top of the head, switch arm. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Eyebrows. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. Inhale deep and hold. Hold the breath in, maintain the breath, sustain the breath, relax, and exhale. Breathe normally, and I invite you to stay with your eyes closed, noticing the changes. If you can ask yourself in the scale of 1 to 10, where is the level of anxiety at this point or inner conflict? Inhale deep, exhale. Slowly begin to move. Slowly begin to open your eyes. This practice has taken me from death to rebirth. Simple as that. But it's a practice. It's not a pill. It's not something that you do once or twice and you expect the results to be there. You can feel it right now, but if it is the first time that you're doing it, in 10 minutes will be gone, or 15 minutes. If you want, one day you want to experience total peace 24/7, you need to make sure that this practice, it's practiced every single day of your life until the moment when being you, it's your meditation, it's your yoga, and you are in full harmony with life and nature. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be here with you today. Thank you so much for this connection. Thank you, More Yoga Wellness TV. Thank you, Ludwika. You can visit this page, visit tappilini.com for more information about this practice. You can also find information about the mantra. You can find the tapping points. You can even find an audio that you can download completely free for you to guide you in this process. And you can contact me on tappilini@gmail.com. If you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, I will thank you and be so grateful if you can send me suggestions of how can I improve this program. What would you like to hear? What would you say, something that I didn't like and it was very confusing and whatever? I would love to hear your feedback. This is intended for you. So I need to hear from you to make this communication better. And also, I invite you to go to the Facebook page. We have a Facebook group called Self-Healing Empowerment with Tappilini. And there is already a community there. And where right now this video is showing. And connect with us. We are a tribe of people becoming better, becoming our own dream, and getting very, very self-empowered by our own healing process. So thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. And I will see you next time, next week, 7 o'clock, Thursdays, London time. And God bless you. Satnam. Namaste. Hasta la próxima. Ciao. And send me your comments. Thank you, all of you. God bless you. Ciao.